May peace be on all of you. Myself, Dr. Majid Khan, Associate Professor, Loknath Dr. J.D. Pawar, College of Pharmacy, Kalwan, Nasik. I welcoming you in the new chapter, Anti-Hypertensive Agent. In this video, that is in lecture 1, we will cover classification, centrally acting sympatholytic agent, and alpha blocker as a anti-hypertensive agent. The learning outcome. After completion of this topic, student able to remember the classification of anti-hypertensive agent with example of drug, understand mechanism of action and uses of centrally acting drug methyl dopa, know about the SAR and mechanism of action and uses of alpha blocker, draw the structure with IUPAC and uses of alpha blocker. Now what is hypertension and what do you mean by blood pressure? So blood pressure is the force exerted in the arteries by blood as it circulates. It is divided into systolic when heart contract. It is a systolic when there is a heart contract, and diastolic when the heart filling and when the heart is relaxed. So it is the definition of blood pressure. So there are two types, systolic and diastolic blood pressure. So systolic blood pressure, the normal range is 110 mm of Hg and diastolic is 70 mm of Hg. So it is a normal blood pressure 110 divided by 70, that is systolic and diastolic blood pressure. So when there is an increase in this blood pressure, then condition is called as hypertension. So in this table, the normal value is given, that is normal value. Systolic normal value is less than 120 and diastolic less than 80. Then elevated blood pressure, systolic normal 120 to 129 and diastolic less than 80. So it is the elevated blood pressure. Then the high blood pressure, that is called as hypertension stage 1. In that systolic is 130 to 140 or diastolic 80 to 90. Then again there is stage 2, hypertension is stage 2. In this hypertension, systolic blood pressure is 140 or higher, diastolic 90 or higher. Then last one is hypertensive crisis. So here the systolic is more than 180 and diastolic is higher than 120. So it is the various types of hypertension depending upon the blood pressure. So antihypertensive are the agent which lower the elevated blood pressure to a normal range. So antihypertensive are the agent which are used in hypertension or high blood pressure. Now classification of antihypertensive drug. So first class is diuretic. In that subclassified thiazide diuretic, example chlorothiazide, hydrochlorothiazide. Then loop diuretics, example furosemide, ethacryonic acid. Third one is potassium sparing diuretic, example spironolactone. So it is the first class. Then second class is sympatholytic agent. It is divided into subclass small a, centrally acting drug, example methyl dopa, clonidine, guanfacine, guanabens. Then small b, ganglionic blocker, example trimethophan, hexamethonium. Small c, adrenergic neuron blocking agent, example guanethidine and reserpine. Small d, alpha blocker, and that example is phenoxybenzamine, terazosin, prazosin. Then there is a beta blocker, Example, propranolol, atenolol, and small f mixed alpha beta blocker, means these are the agents which block both alpha and beta receptor. Example, labetalol, carvedilol. Then third class is vasodilator. It is a vasodilator, as the name indicate, it dilates the blood vessels. So in that there are two types: arterial vasodilator, which causes the dilation of arteries. Example, hydralazine and minoxidil. Then venous vasodilator, which dilate the veins. Example, nitroprusside. The next class, that is fourth one, that is calcium channel blocker. Example, verapamil, diltiazem, nifedipine. Then next one is ACE inhibitor, angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitor. Example, captopril and enalapril. Sixth one, angiotensin second receptor blocker. Example, losartan and valsartan. And last one is potassium channel opener. Example, pinacidil. So it is the classification of antihypertensive drug. But in your syllabus, limited class is given. So we will cover only those class which is given in your syllabus. So here first class, that is diuretic. It is a separate chapter, diuretic. So this class we will cover in diuretic chapter. Then in your syllabus, centrally acting drug is given, that is methyl dopaclonidine. Then alpha blocker is given in your syllabus, beta blocker is given in your syllabus. Then hydralazine drug, that is a vasodilator, is given in your syllabus. Then calcium channel blocker, we already cover this calcium channel blocker. Then ACE inhibitor is also given in your syllabus. Angiotensin second receptor block also given in your syllabus. So we only cover those topic which is given in your this syllabus. So it is the classification of antihypertensive drug. Now first class which is given in your syllabus is sympatholytic agent. That is in that centrally acting drug. Example is methyl dopa. So it is a structure of methyl dopa. Methyl dopa is structurally and chemically related to L-dopa and catecholamine. To increase its water solubility for parenteral administration, it is esterified and converted into ester, referred as methyl dopate. And this ester is used to prepare parenteral solution of methyl dopa and having pH range 3.4 to 6. So methyl dopa is a centrally acting sympatholytic agent. So it is the structure of methyl dopa. So if you see the structure of methyl dopa, it is analog of L-dopa. So it is a L-dopa. So only the difference between this L-dopa and this methyl dopa is this methyl group. So in case of methyl dopa, methyl group is present, but in case of L-dopa, there is no methyl group. And both these are catecholamines, means it contains catechol nucleus. This one is catechol nucleus and amine NH2 group. So methyl dopa is a chemically and structurally related to this levodopa, but it having water solubility problem. Therefore this methyl dopa is converted into their ester called as methyl dopate. So it is the ester, ethyl ester. So it is a methyl dopate. So it is called as methyl dopate. So this methyl dopate are used to prepare parenteral solution. Now it is the biosynthesis of non-adrenaline. You already studied in SEM 4 second year. So here the main step is, that is this conversion of levodopa into dopamine by the enzyme AADC. So it is the enzyme AADC, that is aromatic L amino acid decarboxylase, or it is also called as dopa decarboxylase. So here the main step regarding this topic and regarding the mechanism of action of this methyl dopa, this step is important, that is conversion of L-dopa into dopamine by the enzyme dopa decarboxylase or AADC, aromatic amino acid decarboxylase. Then this dopamine further converted into epinephrine and noradrenaline. So it is the biosynthesis. Now originally methyl dopa is synthesized as a AADC inhibitor, and AADC is the enzyme which convert levodopa to dopamine and then noradrenaline. So methyl dopa ultimately decrease concentration of dopamine and noradrenaline in CNS and parasympathetic system. In other words, methyl dopa is a competitive inhibitor of this enzyme AADC. However, its mechanism of action is not caused by its inhibition of AADC, but rather its metabolism in CNS to its active metabolite alpha methyl noradrenaline. So regarding the mechanism of action of methyl dopa, due to this structural similarity, so methyl dopa and this dopa having the structural similarity, only the difference is methyl group. So it is a competitive inhibitor of this enzyme AADC. So methyl dopa is a competitive inhibitor of AADC, therefore it prevents the biosynthesis of dopamine and noradrenaline, but it is the not main mechanism of action of methyl dopa. The important mechanism of methyl dopa is, so mechanism action of methyl dopa. So here is a methyl dopa. It is a methyl dopa. After the reaction with AADC, it is converted into alpha methyl dopamine. So methyl dopa first transported actively into the CNS, where it is decarboxylated by AADC into alpha methyl dopamine. So in this step there is a decarboxylation. So only COH is removed by the enzyme AADC, then it forms the alpha methyl dopamine. This alpha methyl dopamine is beta hydroxylated by dopamine hydroxylase enzyme to give alpha methyl noradrenaline. So it is a alpha methyl noradrenaline, which is a selective potent alpha 2 agonist. So methyl dopa after decarboxylation by the enzyme AADC converted into alpha methyl dopamine. Then after beta hydroxylation, on beta position hydroxylation is taken place by the enzyme beta hydroxylase. So it forms the methyl noradrenaline, which is a potent alpha 2 agonist. It is postulated that alpha methyl noradrenaline act on alpha 2 receptor in CNS and decrease the sympathetic outflow and lower the blood pressure, and it also decrease total peripheral resistance. So this, it is a main which causes the decrease in blood pressure. Therefore methyl dopa used in hypertension. So this alpha methyl noradrenaline, this one methyl noradrenaline, which is formed from this alpha methyl dopa, which is a alpha 2 agonist. Alpha 2 agonist, due to which there is a decrease in sympathetic outflow and which causes the lower in blood pressure. Here if we see inside, it is a L-dopa. L-dopa after methylation give this methyl dopa, and this L-dopa by the enzyme AADC converted into dopamine and then into the adrenaline and non-adrenaline. So it is a side reaction, but the important mechanism of action is this one. That is, again I repeat, first alpha methyl dopa converted into alpha methyl dopamine by the enzyme AADC, decarboxylation reaction. Then this compound, after beta hydroxylation, on beta position hydroxylation taken place, it forms methyl non-adrenaline. This methyl non-adrenaline is a potent alpha 2 agonist which causes decrease in sympathetic outflow and lower the blood pressure and also decrease the total peripheral resistance. So it is about the mechanism of action of methyl dopa. Now uses of this drug. Methyl dopa is used alone or with other medication to treat high blood pressure, that is hypertension. Lowering high blood pressure help prevent the stroke, heart attack and kidney problem. Methyl dopa work by relaxing blood vessel so blood can flow more easily. It is used in management of hypertension during pregnancy without adverse effect on fetus. So it is the use of alpha methyl dopa. IUPAC name. So here IUPAC name is given. IUPAC name of this methyl dopa. 2 means this numbering is given here, 1 and 2, ethyl group 1 and 2. So on second position this ring is attached. 2, 3, 4 dihydroxybenzyl. Benzyl means this one. Phenyl with this CH2. So sorry, numbering is given here 1, 2 and 3. Carboxylic group 1, then this 2 and this CH3 is 3. That is 3 carbon, that is propionic acid. So one number is given to carboxylic group, then second given to this center carbon and third one is this CH3. So on second position this whole structure is attached, that is 3,4 dihydroxybenzyl. Then on second position amino group is attached to amino and basic is propionic acid. Similarly the ester, that is methyl dopate is the ester. The IUPAC name of this ester is ethyl 2 in bracket 3,4 dihydroxybenzyl 2 amino propionate. So it is a propionate because of ester. So it is the IUPAC name of this methyl dopa and methyl dopate. So it is about this the drug. Now second is, that is alpha blocker. So it is a second class in as a antihypertensive. So in case of alpha blocker, it is having the following classification, that is chemical classification. First one is beta haloalkyl amine. Example phenoxybenzamine and dibenamine. Second class imidazoline. Example phentolamine and tolazoline. Third one is quinazoline. Example prazosin, terazosin, doxazosine. Fourth one ergot alkaloid. Example ergotamine and miscellaneous euhembin. But in your syllabus only these two drugs is given, that is prazosin and terazosin. So it is a structure of these two drugs. So it is a general structure of this type of drug, that is quinazoline derivative. So it is a quinazoline derivative. So here difference of this R. So prazosin having benzofuran and terazosin having tetrahydrobenzofuran. So in that there is a SAR. First point, so it is a quinazoline derivative. This one is quinazoline ring. This ring is quinazoline ring. So first point of SAR, quinazoline ring show high selectivity for alpha receptor antagonist activity. So these drugs are alpha antagonists, means it blocks the alpha receptor which is mainly present on the blood vessels. So quinazoline ring is important. If we replace this quinazoline with other ring, activities decreases. Second point, 4 amino group, that is this one, 4 amino group is important. Replacement with 4 methyl group lost the activity. So if we replace this NH2 with CH3 group, activities decreases. Third point, the piperazine ring on second position. This one is piperazine ring. This one is piperazine ring on second position, and the piperazine ring can be replaced without loss of activity. So this piperazine ring is important, but we can replace this piperazine ring with other ring. It gives the activity. For example, bunazocine. So it is a bunazocine in which this piperazine ring is replaced by this 7-member ring. So this ring we can replace without loss of activity. Then fourth point, nature of acyl group. Acyl group means this one. It is a acyl group, R and CO. Acyl group affect the pharmacokinetic property. Teirazocine is more hydrophilic than prazosin. So teirazocine, in which R equal to tetrahydrofuran. In case of prazosin, R equal to furan. But teirazocine is more water soluble because this tetrahydrofuran is a hydrophilic group. Therefore, it is more water soluble as compared to prazosin. So it is about the SAR of alpha blocker. Now individual drug. So in that first drug is prazosin. In that their IUPAC name. So numbering is start from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this nitrogen is given 1. Then this nitrogen is 3. This 4. Then 5, 6, 7. So either 6, 7 dimethoxy. So it is a dimethoxy on 6, 7. On second position, this structure is attached. All this structure. So second means this second. 4 means this 4. So on fourth position, there is a furan. It is a furan ring. Furan 2-eel carbonyl. So it is a carbonyl. Piperazine. So it is a piperazine ring. 1-eel means attachment on one position. Quinazoline. So it is a quinazoline ring. 4-amine. So it is a 4-amine. So total IUPAC name 6,7 dimethoxy 2 in bracket 4-furan 2-eel carbonyl piperazine 1-eel quinazoline 4-amine. Uses of this drug. The antihypertensive characteristic of prazosin make it is a second line choice for the treatment of high blood pressure. Prazosin is also useful in treating urinary hesitancy associated with benign prostatic hyperplasia and blocking alpha-1 adrenergic receptor, which control constriction of both prostate and urethra. Although not a first choice for either hypertension or benign prostatic hyperplasia, it is a choice for people who present with both problem concomitantly. So main use of this drug is it is used in hypertension in high blood pressure, but it is also used in urinary hesitancy associated with prostate cancer. So prostate cancer, there is a difficulty in urination. So in that condition it is also used. So in this condition it blocks the alpha adrenergic receptor and control the constriction of both prostate and urethra. So it is not the first choice, but it is used for symptomatic treatment of prostate cancer. Next drug, teirazocine. So here the difference only is tetrahydrofuran. In case of prazosin, there is a furan, but here there is a tetrafuran that is saturated without double bond. So IUPAC name 6,7 dimethoxy 2,4 tetrahydrofuran 2-eel carbonyl piperazine 1-eel quinazoline 4-amine. So approximately same IUPAC, only the difference is tetrahydrofuran. Then uses teirazocine is used alone or with other drug to treat high blood pressure, that is hypertension. Lowering blood pressure help prevent the stroke, heart attack, kidney problem. This medication work by relaxing blood vessel so blood can flow more easily. Teirazocine is also used in men to treat the symptom of enlarged prostate. It does not shrink the prostate, but it works by relaxing the muscle in the prostate and part of the bladder. This helps to relieve the symptoms such as difficulty in beginning of flow of urine, weak stream, and the need of urinate frequently or urgently. So approximately same use of previous drug prazosin. Apart from hypertension, it is also used for symptomatic treatment of prostate cancer in which there is a difficulty in urination. So this drug relax the muscle of bladder and help in urination. So it is the use of terazosin. So these are the references. So it is about the two main classes of antihypertensive drug. In next lecture, that is in lecture 2, we will cover beta blocker, adrenergic neuron blocking agent, monoamine depleter and vasodilator. So if you like the video, then subscribe the channel. Thank you very much.